In our previous video, we discussed about transversal, and in this video, we are going to discuss about transversal of parallel lines. So lines M and line N, these two lines are parallel lines, and this line L is, since this line L is intersecting line M and N at two distinct points, therefore line L is transversal to these two parallel lines. Okay, so the next question is, can a line be transversal to more than two parallel lines? Right, of course. Like if I show you here, in this case you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 parallel lines, and 5 parallel lines are being intersected by this one line L, and they are being intersected at distinct points, therefore this is transversal to all these 5 parallel lines. So can there be more than one transversal for given set of parallel lines? Yes, of course. Like this L is transversal for these 5 parallel lines, P is also transversal for these parallel lines, same thing with Q and same thing with R. So a set of parallel lines can have more than one transversal. Now let's discuss some of the properties of transversal of parallel lines. First point is, remember that the pairs of corresponding angles, pairs of corresponding angles in case of transversal of parallel lines will be equal. What does that mean? That angle 1 and angle 5 will be equal, angle 2 and angle 6, these two angles are pair of corresponding angles, so angle 2 will be equal to angle 6, angle 3 and angle 7 are pair of corresponding angles, so angle 3 is equal to angle 7, and angle 4 and angle 8 are also pair of corresponding angles, therefore these two angles will also be equal. This is the first property. Second property is that alternate interior angles. Let me first remove this. Alternate interior angles, that is angle 3 and angle 6, angle 3, angle 6 and angle 4 and angle 5, angle 4 and angle 5. This is one pair of alternate interior angle, they will be equal. This is another pair of alternate angles and this will also be equal. So the point is that pairs of alternate interior angles in the case of transversal of parallel lines will be equal. Now we have to prove this. Let's prove it. So first I'm going to prove for this one, that is for angle 3 is equal to angle 6. Now we know that from here we can see that angle 3, sorry, not from here, I'm sorry, we know that angle 3 will be equal to angle 2. Now if you're scratching your head and saying that how is it possible, then let me remind you, this is one line, this is another line, they are intersecting at this point, right, at this point, and this angle, that is this one, angle 2 and angle 3 are vertically opposite angles, right? Angle 3 and angle 2 are vertically opposite angles, vertically opposite angles, right? Therefore, they are equal. Now, since from here we can see that the pairs of corresponding angles are equal, so from here you can take that angle 2 is also equal to angle 6, right? Now, since angle 3 is equal to angle 2 and angle 2 is equal to angle 6, so can't we say that angle 3 will be equal to angle 6? Why? Because angle 3 is equal to angle 2, and since angle 2 is equal to angle 6, therefore angle 3 will be equal to angle 6. Now let's prove angle 4 is equal to angle 5. We'll follow the same steps. We know that angle 4 and angle 8, these are pair of corresponding angles, and they are equal. Angle 4 is equal to angle 8. Now, since angle 8 and angle 5, these two angles are vertically opposite angles, right? Angle 8 is equal to angle 5 since they are vertically opposite angles. Therefore, from these two, angle 4 is equal to angle 8 and angle 8 is equal to angle 5. Therefore, we will say that angle 4 is equal to angle 5. There we have proved this. Okay, so this was the second point. Now, the third point. The third point is that sum of measure of interior angles on the same side of the transversal will be equal to 180 degree. And what does that mean? Sum of interior angles on the same side of the transversal. So for on the same side of the transversal, first let me move this one. So on the same side of the transversal is angle 3 and angle 5. So angle 3 and angle 5, according to this one, angle 3 plus angle 5 should be equal to 180 degree. And similarly, this angle 4 and angle 6, two interior angles on the same side of the transversal. These two pair of interior angles were towards the left and these two are towards the right of this transversal L. So angle 4 plus angle 6 will be equal to 180 degree. Okay, let's prove it. How is it possible? So if we look here, we know that I'm proving for this one, first for this one. So angle 1 is equal to angle 5. Pairs of corresponding angles, right? This is one pair. So angle 1 is equal to angle 5. Now since if you look at angle 1 and angle 3, angle 1 and angle 3 are actually forming linear pair. This is the common arm. These two are actually two non-common arms. Common arm, these two non-common arms, one angle and second angle, adjacent angles and forming linear pair. Therefore, angle 1 plus angle 3 will be equal to 180 degree. Reason? They are linear pair. Okay, so angle 1 plus angle 3 is 180 degree. Now we know that from here angle 1 is equal to angle 5. Can we replace angle 1 here in this case with angle 5? Yes, we can do. If you replace this angle 1 by angle 5, then angle 5 plus angle 3 will be equal to 180 degree, right? That's what here it is. Okay, similarly for this one, let's prove it. So we have to prove that angle 4 plus angle 6 is equal to 180 degree. Now we know that angle 2 is equal to angle 6 from here, pair of corresponding angles, and similarly as we saw in the case of angle 1 and angle 3, angle 2 plus angle 4 will be equal to 180 degree since they are linear pair. So can we replace this angle 2 here with angle 6? So if you replace this angle 2 with angle 6, this angle 6 plus angle 4 will be equal to 180 degree. That's what we have to prove it. Okay, so this is the third point, that the sum of measure of interior angles on the same side of the transversal will be equal to 180 degree. So we have to discuss one last point, and that is, if you have let's say two lines, if it is given to you that you have two lines and it's not being told to you, it has not been told to you that these two lines are parallel. Okay, let's say that this is line L and this is line M. It has not been told to you that they are parallel lines. Instead, it has been told that, you know what, these two lines are such that the transversal of these two lines is making interior angles, alternate interior angles, in a way that both these two alternate interior angles are equal. That is this one and this one, and this one and this one. If it is given to you two lines, not given that they are parallel, the transversal makes the alternate interior angles in a way that alternate angles are equal. That is, this one is equal to this one and this one is equal to this one. Instantly think of parallel lines. That's a property. If transversal makes alternate interior angles in a way that those two are equal, it means that the lines that the transversal is intersecting are actually parallel lines. Point number one. Point number two, if it is given to you that a transversal intersects two lines in a way, that the interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary. Again, interior angles on the same side of the transversal, that is this interior angle and this interior angle. So let's name it as angle 1 and angle 2. So if it is given to you that angle 1 plus angle 2 is supplementary, means what? They are 180 degree, right? Two angles will be said to be supplementary when their sum will be equal to 180 degree. All these things we have discussed already, and just now only we discussed here where we proved that this point. So if angle 1 plus angle 2 is 180 degree and angle 3 plus angle 4 is equal to 180 degree, because it has been given that the interior angles on the same side of the transversal is supplementary, instantly think that actually the transversal line is intersecting two parallel lines, right? This is very important. These 2 points were very important, because question could be asked to you, where the information of two lines being parallel would not be given to you, but it would be what would be given to you is that this point, either that the sum of the interior angles on the same side of transversal is 180 degree, or the alternate interior angles are equal. Instantly think of parallel lines.